Hi and welcome to PS, the show that brings you Pete Wylie and an all-star cast.
I met Keith Richards in New York and spent like 5 hours sitting on a couch this big with him, and he's a lovely fella and really loves music and can talk with great knowledge about it.
And we talked to ex-Doors drummer John Densmore about Jim Morrison.
When you die at 27 and you're a great lyricist and you look great, got all the ingredients for a big myth.
Ian McCulloch, Julian Cope and Pete Wylie were Liverpool's Fab Three throughout the 80s, fronting Echo and the Bunnymen, Teardrop Explodes and Wah, respectively. All three went on to have relatively successful solo careers, although little was heard of Pete Wylie until his recent successful collaboration with The Farm on All Together Now. This has inspired him to start working on his own material again, and he's currently working on a new album. But music sometimes takes a second place when the man's got a story to tell.
I mean, I always used to love reading about, like, the night John Lennon and Bob Dylan and Mick Jagger were hanging out in some club in London, you know, I loved that. And one of the reasons I first came to London was kind of naively thinking it was all going to be like that. And obviously it isn't, you know, you don't really... There's a different attitude to all that kind of hanging out thing now, you know. But, you know, that's what them guys did, and I can thrive on other music. You know, if I meet another musician and he's got something, especially people who I don't agree with, you know, if there's someone like... I met George Michael a couple of times and expected not to like him, and I thought he was an all-right fella, you know, and he kind of cares about what he does. And it was good hearing someone else's attitude to things and being able to talk back to them, you know. I like that. Those things help me focus what I do, you know. I was in the WAG one night and Josie, the girl who was in the group with me, she loved Brian Ferry, and we were there quite early, and there was, you know, a lot of people walking around with their hair greased back and a big suits on. I was going on like, Joe's Brian Ferry, you know. And she was going, where? And it was, oh, no, it's not him. So about 2 in the morning, she goes, Pete, there's Mick Jagger. And I went, get away, you know, no chance. And I turned around, he was there with his brother, Chris Jagger, is he? And a couple of bodyguards. You know, normally, again, I thought people would all want to go up and say something, even if it was nasty, you know, just I thought people would approach him, but he kind of formed a circle, and ignored him all with his backs to him, you know. So I just pushed through, and I kind of poked him in the belly, and I went, all right. And he looked horrified. I think it was probably shortly after John Lennon had got shot, you know. And he just was this look of horror. I said, I'm all right, you know, I'm just a fan. And he just smiled and wiggled his hips, and it was fantastic. Just 1 second, he did this old Mick Jagger thing, you know. Anyway, about 10 minutes later, he left. And Chris Sullivan, the guy who runs the WAG, came up to me and went, would you believe it, Pete? Mick Jagger comes to me club and he's had to leave. He was being hassled by some kid from the public, you know. I was the kid who got Mick Jagger to leave the WAG, you know.
One particular story I had in mind, I don't know how true this is, about a little episode at a New York club once.
Big Audio Dynamite, right, were playing over there, and I'd never played in America. And I went over just to see them, and then they took me round on the bus and put me up in hotels, and they were great, you know, really good to me. And so on the last night I bought them a bottle of tequila to thank them, you know, but none of them drank tequila, so I drank the bottle, as you might do sometimes. And Mike Tyson was there, and you know, Mike Tyson's there, you want to speak to him, man. And he's got like 15 bodyguards and a bunch of girls around him, and nobody, obviously in New York, no one goes near him, they know not to go near him. I just thought, you've got to go and say something. I went, all right, mate, come to Liverpool, we'll show you how to fight. You know, laughing me head off. But obviously they don't quite have that Liverpool sense of humour there. And he just went, take the guy away, he's intoxicated. And those words will ring forever in my ears. Tyson getting me taken away because he was scared of me. I think he was scared of me. I might have just been embarrassing him though. But I don't mind doing things like that. You know, to me, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Wouldn't you want to meet Mike Tyson? Even if it's for a split second. I've got something to tell me grandchildren, you know what I mean?
Don't you
I wonder if Paul McCartney's still got these scally traits.
Paul McCartney, you could probably do with a few of them, actually. I think that's one thing that he's been missing. I had to go with him once in a music paper around the time I come back, just saying, with all that money and stuff, he could help. You know, Liverpool was having a really hard time, which it still is, you know. And I just thought the idea of him opening, say, a shop or something, and, you know, having an office up there, even if it was a token effort, it would have brought other businessmen saying, I want to have the office next to Paul McCartney. So I said something about him in the music paper, and I came back from somewhere, I can't remember where, and he was in timeout, and the headline was, you know, Pete Wylie's been slagging me off. I just want to put the record straight. And the fact that he's even heard of me, you know, and the fact that I'd kind of maybe pricked his conscience a bit, that was a buzz. I loved that, you know. Them guys are, although I don't particularly admire him now, he had, you know, he influenced me. Obviously, Paul McCartney for a while was really a special guy, you know, special talent. So I'm just glad that he's heard of me. And he told, apparently Janice Long interviewed him one night on Radio 1. And she brought it up, and he talked about it, you know, and he mentioned, you know, that he likes me records. He liked us and Frankie Goes to Hollywood from Liverpool at the moment, so I kind of like that. Maybe he wouldn't have heard me records if I hadn't had a dig at him. maybe I should start slagging a few other people off, you know, get them all to hear me record.
3 weeks before the UK cinema release of Oliver Stone's film The Doors sees the timely publication of Riders on the Storm by ex-Doors drummer John Densmore. It's the first time that an account of life with Jim Morrison has been published by one of the band members.
The first few years it was magic on stage and in the studio, and as his self-destruction increased, it got more and more difficult. I had a lot of feelings about Jim. You know, he left us at 27, left me hanging, and it felt really good to discover this idea of writing a letter as if he could hear me now.